Hi, before I tell you about the program, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself. I'm married for 6 years, and we've been trying to conceive for 3 years, and with no results. So actually, 3 years ago, actually, we went to the doctors and we decided to have a look and see if everything was alright. I wasn't on pills anymore, and we couldn't get pregnant even though. So we went to the doctors and they tested us for everything. Everything was fine. They said, well, it's a question of time. Anyways, we kept trying for 3 years, and nothing happened. So we decided to go through with IVF, but I was really, really scared, even more because I have someone in my family that have been trying for a year, and they're struggling and nothing happened yet, and emotionally they're devastated. And so I thought, well, okay, before I go through with IVF, and I think it's worth giving it a try to something natural, because actually you might never know what's gonna happen, so why not? Well, I googled it and I found the NFP program, and so in the beginning I wasn't very keen to do it because I thought, well, I eat fruits, vegetables, salad, so I'm a pretty healthy person, But then as I started reading through the book, I saw there were so many things I had to change. I'm sort of a cleaner. I love to like the house very clean, so I'm like a cleaning freak, and I always used very strong products, and anyways, I never thought that could affect myself. And then other things regarding my eating habits, and about my sleeping habits as well. So as I was reading through the book, I was like, well, there are a few things I can change, I can do it, and who knows what's gonna happen, right? Because in the beginning you're always skeptical, you never think something can happen. Well, as I told you before, we tried for 3 years to conceive. Nothing happened. I started doing IVF actually, but then I got really scared. I started with a nasal spray, and but I was so scared after the results of my friend, and I was like, oh no, seriously, I think I'll wait. So I rang them and said, I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. If nothing happens until the end of the year, so then next year I'm gonna start again. So I read the book, and it helped me a lot to make the change. There is like the diet cookbook as well that really helps you to to sort of get the right feed to do the cooking. So it was pretty easy, reading, and I stood skeptical, of course, and then I started doing the diet, and especially the detox was so hard, because for me, I love my lollies, my sweets, and it was really hard to give up that. And because you always think, it's just a little, it won't be a problem. But when you're detoxing, you have to give up. So it was really hard. But I did everything as the book said. So at least the first month I did everything by the book. But as I have a pretty busy life. I couldn't do everything after that. So I kept doing like 80% of the suggestions in the book. Anyways, after a while, when you're doing, and then you get to the point you're like, nothing's happened. So I thought it would take like a month or 2 months, and something would happen, but didn't happen. So you get to be like skeptical again, and then you're like, it's just such a waste of time. Anyways, I kept doing it because the program mentions 4 months, so I thought I'm gonna do it as much as I can until the end of the program. So I kept doing it. as I mentioned, 80%. And so I had the charts, I was following my temperature, doing everything, and recording all the, all the high peaks, and trying to have intercourse, in the right times. And yeah, so after that, I reckon we had like I spoke with Iva because I was very concerned nothing was happening. And then we started taking supplements, and we actually have a few left still. So we started on the supplements. Actually, there's one thing I have to mention. My husband, he wasn't very supportive. He thought this is nothing, because we are pretty healthy. We are not like crazy drunkards, or so, and we eat healthy, so there's no point doing it. It's not gonna work. So he never supported 100%, and I told Iva that, and she recommended the supplements for him. She said if he at least agrees with the supplements, that will be alright. Okay, he agreed with the supplements, and he started taking the supplements. I did the diet by myself, the program by myself. Anyways, well, guess what? I'm pregnant. First time in 3 years. So many times I thought I was pregnant before. I did the test, the pharmacy test, always negative. And for me, this time I was like, I'm late. This happened before, so nothing to worry about. And for my surprise, when I did the test, I did like 3 times, and I'm really pregnant. So, yay, that's great, isn't it? So that's why I'm sharing this with you, because sometimes you think, oh, it might not work yet, but it might work. You never know. And even though it doesn't work the way it should, or you don't get pregnant, you still can enjoy. You change your way of life, and you feel more energetic, and it does work. So I think it's worth it a try. You never know. So I would recommend you. I recommended the NFP program because it worked for me, and and I think, like, as I mentioned, your body, you feel the difference. I was very addicted to coffee and having alcohol every night, with a meal, like having a glass of wine. But since I started the program, I had to quit it. Actually, I had a few, after that, but only occasionally on weekends. But it was different, not like every day anymore. And coffee, that was very hard for me to give up, because I used to have like 3 or 4 coffees every day. So it was really, really hard. And in the beginning, I thought I won't survive, because I always felt tired without my coffee. And after a while, you realize, your body needs a cleanse. So you were addicted to something, and that's it. It's like an addiction. You don't need it to survive, and I'm perfectly fine without it now. And so I recommend the program, and I think like the results, for me they were very positive, and I would recommend you to do it, to change your way of life. And again, if it doesn't work, if you don't get pregnant straight away, try to do it the 4 months as much as you can. It might not work. Like, I only got pregnant after 3 months trying the program, and I thought it would be, I thought, well, it's such a waste of time. So many times I thought that, I'm gonna give up, but I didn't, and I got the results. So I recommend you to do it. Who knows? If not, if it doesn't happen, at least your body is gonna be clean. So when you get pregnant, or you decide to go through IVF, your body is gonna be prepared for that. So yeah, even though you don't have like a supportive husband, as it was in my case, I think you should try. And whatever it is that you're going through, try to believe it, have faith, and go ahead. I think that's the point. Just have a goal, and then look for this goal, and just don't give up. Okay? Well, that's my experience. Hope you find it useful for you, and that's it. Bye.